Kim. Just when I think that you're starting to climb back into something, you screw yourself up. Not to say that Jeremy might not have screwed up his relations with everybody, but I'll get to him later. Okay, so first we get the introduction of the loved ones, and even though this was a pretty long loved one visit bit, especially if you count the Edge business, I was rather entertained by it. It didn't feel dragged out, or I was like, why can't this just end? Like, I definitely felt that way for a good amount of other seasons. I really hope that I'm not repeating myself from prior season episode vids, but this one I was really entertained by it. I bet part of that, though, is because I've seen these people do it before, and this marks the first time that Parvati's father hasn't been her loved one, but it does kind of make sense given how she's married now. I just find it interesting when trends like that seem to stop. Okay. And I was also really shocked to see just how many kids Jeremy had. Just what? Man, dude, you've been working at it. And the fact that he's a firefighter too, although, I don't know if firefighters are away from their families as long as they sometimes make it seem. I don't know. It's been forever since I've watched any stuff about daily firefighters' lives. That doesn't matter. If you're a firefighter, good for you. Anyway, and the decision not to have a challenge, totally unexpected, but I'm actually really glad that they did that, to give them some time to off gas, get to know each other from, outside the game formalities, even though a bunch of these people have interacted with each other and other survivors, because Andrea from Redemption Island, she's mentioned that she and Sophie are actually decent friends. She might actually describe it as more than that. Not too sure, because I can't follow Andrea on social media since I've been behind on this show for so long, and I didn't really start getting into Twitter until just before I started falling behind, right? And I remember when they cut from everyone in the loved ones going back to camp to the Edge. I'm like, oh yeah, and then these guys, especially Adam, just stranded out there. But then I see this big, I don't think it's liner boat, but the big white boat coming in, and I'm like, oh no, they didn't. They did. I didn't even have to see actual people. I just had to tell if there was more than two people on there, and they were able to give an indication that there was more than two people when the boat was going sideways. So I'm really glad that they did that. So that means that Sandra just didn't get to see her husband, although it's possible that she did. I don't know, given how the Edge is in power here, if they still send people to another location for a vacation, or if they just ship them home and say, don't talk to people, don't post on social media as much as you can about this stuff. Although, I'd wager that she was taken to somewhere, because I remember in Second Chances there was, it was leaked that Vetus had done something. Like, I think that something related to Alec from David vs. Goliath leaked. I don't remember if I heard anything about that, because I wasn't paying attention to the show. I couldn't. But good move, producers. You turned something that lately I think has been fairly chaotic into something positive. Good on you. And I'm especially glad they didn't do that shake the ball and donut-shaped thing, for lack of a better term, because number one, it's a kind of a boring challenge, especially since there was no balance beam this time that I could see, and then also it works much better as an immunity challenge, because I don't know how many endurance reward challenges we've had. I don't know. Jumping right to the immunity challenge, because I can't recall anything happening in between there. I was actually rather surprised that Tony took that, because a decent amount of these people have participated in that challenge. Michelle participated in it. Tyson won this challenge in Bloodless Water, albeit it was a little. Actually, no, wait, he didn't win this challenge. He won a very similar challenge where you had to align letters in a row, not on top of each other. Okay, so slightly different there, but he has had skill in this, but Tony taking it, impressive. Especially since it's totally against his personality and he didn't win any immunities in his prior season, and there's actually a deleted scene where Tyson is reading the clue to this immunity challenge, where Ben's going, I'm really hoping I can get my first individual immunity win. It's like something that needs to happen for a winner. Dude, tons of people have won this show and never won immunity. Tina, Sandra, both times. Yule, pretty sure Earl didn't win any immunities. I know Todd didn't win any immunities. Tony, and then tons of people get ridiculously far without winning immunity. Jeremy only won one immunity in Cambodia. Sheesh. You do not have to win immunity to... Stupid. Okay. We get back to camp, and it becomes really interesting how we've gone from total chaos to actually a very interesting big divide in the sand, especially since the big targets getting rid of the sleepers seems to not be a factor anymore, because Tony was going with Sarah, Ben, Sophie, and who's the fifth? It'll come back to Nick. And then you had Jeremy working with his seemingly close allies of Kim and Tyson, and then they pulled in Denise and Michelle, although I really want to know what the Jeremy and Denise relationship is like. Rob and Steven on the Know-It-Alls bit were really wondering what that dynamic is there, and then Michelle. It's interesting how she seems to go from getting a decent amount of confessionals and then suddenly not getting them. I really wish we could get more into her mind, because her overall gameplay, that's something I'd like to know. Jeremy, I'm pretty confident he's going to get an exit interview with either Dalton Ross or Rob's sister Nino, and they'll probe into him. Could be wrong, we'll see. Alright. And then we've got another crazy whispering bit, but this time the one of the groups doesn't even try to hide that they're together, and then they just step aside, although I think that was after Jeremy did his bit, and should he have done that? Well, I do think that he was the target of the Sophie and Sarah group, so him leaving, okay, I can understand that, but at the same time, it hurt his relationship with the people that he was working with and everyone else on that jury. Supposedly, I seem to have missed the reaction where it seemed like the jury didn't like that, although maybe Rob or somebody mentioned just sold yourself out. Someone, I think, did it. Okay, whatever. So, his move, even though it's kind of stupid, at the same time, I can't blame him. I mean, like, if you're in that state of paranoia, nerves are on edge, I mean, like, we've seen what Adam was doing this whole season. Huh? So a big part of me doesn't like it, but at the same time, I can't fully blame him. Right. And then Sarah playing her vote steal. I think she was going to do that regardless. Anything to give her alliance a better position. And plus, once Jeremy left and made it 5-4, stealing the vote means that they have 6 free. So it doesn't matter if the other side has an idol. So everyone goes up there and votes, and then we see Kim playing the idol. And then she plays it for Denise, which in my mind she should not have done. Why? Well, it's like what Steven theorized on the Know-It-Alls bit, even though I got this idea before him. Why would somebody in an alliance steal someone's vote and then try to vote that very person out? You don't steal the vote of someone that... what I'm getting at is that if you're going to steal someone's vote, you don't steal the vote of the person that you want to vote out. You put like an idol nullifier on them or something like that. You steal the vote of someone that you don't care about, so that weakens the ability of the person that you do want to vote out to save themselves. I know what you're thinking. A vote is a vote. Technically, you're right, but it just... Steven explained this a little bit more because of the potential revote bit, and even then, why would you target Denise? Denise is not great at the challenges. Is Tyson good at the challenges? Yeah. Is Kim good at the challenges? Yeah. She just broke the record. Kudos to Andrea for noting that, and it turns out Rob Sesternino did notice it. He just didn't mention it in the Know-It-Alls bit. But, so just... Kim! It was totally stupid of you to put it on Denise. That was the worst thing that you could have done. I know what you're thinking. The argument is to not play it. Provided she wasn't voted out, it's actually not entirely a bad thing. Oh, it's bad for the Alliance, but for her, herself, she doesn't play it. That's only truly a bad move if she gets voted out. Okay, so really, playing it for Denise, that was the worst thing that she could have done, and even then, the real killer is that the majority alliance, it's as if they couldn't do basic math, because they all seem to have voted for Tyson. Because if I recall correctly, I think we had 2 votes for Denise that were cancelled, then we had 2 votes for Sophie, and then we had a whole bunch for Tyson. What? What? You had a 6-3 majority. You just had to put it out there. And if I get someone arguing, well, there wasn't enough time, we don't know how long they were whispering there. And... honestly, and even then, all you had to do was split it as guy versus girl anyway, which is something that huge Bion Alliance didn't get in Cambodia. It's not that hard to split votes, people. It's really not. Okay. So yeah, Tyson gets the boot again. Good thing I didn't really start supporting him. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have any fire tokens, which is why he's walking by all the players and going, F you all. Dude, it makes sense to vote you out. Why do you think they got rid of you the first time? Really? Yeah. Come on. Whew. Oh, and since Rob and Steven brought this up all the time, what is my thoughts on the whispering and the argument that you shouldn't have the whispering and instead it should be vocal, like how in Big Brother they don't really allow whispering, even though there are times that they do have what we would call whispering, at least. I would like to know what they're saying, but number 1, it does kill the suspense, and then number 2, how would you enforce it? Because at least on Big Brother they can go, whoever, please speak clearly, or something like that. But what are you going to do here, especially since it's really just Jeff, that has a presence? Right. And even then, do you only do whispering at tribal council? Is whispering just before a challenge okay? Eh? Plus, it's clear that Jeff really enjoys it, so I don't think that's going anywhere. Well, I thought I'd be able to get through this one quick, but now this is the same length. It's crazy, this season. I'm loving it.